So basically, there are two main trends that we are looking into in regards to new food generation. On the one hand, it's the growing population. As we all know, just last year we've reached the mark of 8 billion people on the planet, and 800 million of these actually tonight they will go to bed hungry because they have not enough food. Additionally, also 2 billion people, which is basically every fourth, so they have a deficit in the nutrition they take. So yeah, we can say that every fourth person here in the room kind of eats the wrong food and eats food that in the long term is not good for the body. I mean, we see that it results then in high cholesterol, high blood sugar, high blood level as well. And on the other hand, what we have is the increasing awareness for the environment, for climate change. So 1/3 of all global greenhouse emissions is related to food. And then looking also that 1/3 of all food is actually wasted and not even consumed, which is quite a high number. And so we can see that those two different trends, on the one hand, the growing population, and on the other hand, the increasing awareness for the environment, these two trends put a big pressure on the demand for food and on the global food supply chain. And so I'm really happy to see that around the world, wherever we go, we see many innovative companies working actually on finding ways to combat these issues that we will have in regards to food. So for example, we have the alternative protein with the insect-based protein or the lab-grown meat. We also have personalized nutrition, for example, looking at 3D printed nutrition in the future. Also the vertical farming, where instead of using the land, we actually look into putting the agriculture into a vertical stack that can be grown everywhere. And of course also plant-based food, which is why we are all here today, which we also see an increasing growth in the future. And so in the end, what we need to achieve kind of is that we now look into, that we continue looking into what the consumer wants, so that we also continue looking at what is relevant for the consumer, the feedback that he's giving towards us, to see where it's going in the future. And then also what we need is an infrastructure behind it, because of course we need to make sure that it's getting convenient to the consumer itself. So in terms of new retail opportunities, for example, and also in underdeveloped countries, most importantly, we first of all need this supply chain to bring the food across to people in need. And also what we need to make sure is that we have increasing collaboration between the stakeholders. So looking at scientists, for example, we need to make sure that they can continuously do their research and development with the funds for this as well. We also need to look at the government and the policymakers to make sure that they also favor the conditions to have food of the future in our countries. For example, I'm personally from Germany, and as you might know, the European Commission just recently, they have agreed to take insect-based food as food, to accept it into the European Union. Also, the government in Germany is working actively on a food nutrition strategy to make sure that everybody, no matter the background, no matter where they come from, has access to healthy and affordable food. And lastly, of course, also the private stakeholders. They also have to collaborate to make sure that we see this area thriving in the future, and that we can all make sure to combat the food insecurity in the future.